Chicago Slim coming with the win. Super Puppy Podcast, Super Puppy Podcast, the best podcast, Super Puppy Podcast, the best. This is Super Podcast, Puppy Podcast, the best podcast. Better than the rest, Super Puppy Podcast. Busting shots in your ass, Super Puppy Podcast. Don't sleep.
Welcome to the latest installment of the Super Puppy Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Minor, aka ChicagoSlim. And the name of today's episode is Chicago's Finesse. Okay, I was gonna say Chicago's Finest, but I feel like we just got too much finesse. You know, for it to just be finest.
Play on words.
Yes, so I would like to introduce my guest, a friend of mine who you guys have heard me talk about Tickle Me Tuesdays and how this was a stomping ground for comedians in DC back a few years ago, and we've created all these opportunities from that movement. So I'd like to invite you to meet the co-founder of Tickle Me Tuesdays, Sean Glover. Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Sean Glover, known as Funny Guy Man About Town. Everybody that I know, minus two people, say you're like so.
Haters.
It's so funny. I'm like, I'll be the judge of that. Okay? So let's talk about Tickle Me Tuesdays at Cafe Nemo. Tell me when you think back about it, what was it that stands out in your mind for that room?
Man, it was very intimate, and it was a different U Street. Also, it wasn't as beige as it is now.
Yes.
But it was a very good room, and the talent that you, I give you all the credit, curated was like the underground and stomping grounds of what's next and who's next. I mean, it was act after act that was extremely funny.
And people that are now big names, like we got Jason Weems, Seton Smith, Jermaine Fowler, Rory Scovel, Aaron Jackson, Sansa McCormick, Mark Carter, Tom Taylor Jr., Ralph Cooper, Sean Glover.
Man, it was just a great time, and it was very special. I remember when you broached the topic and the opportunity, and I was like, I don't know, Tommy. But it was the name was good though. You know, it was a little suspect. As a man, it was hard to tell my other male friends.
Go to Tickle Me Tuesdays.
I'm not taking this shit. But it was a really good. It was a great relationship we had with the venue. It was a very unique time. I wish you would have documented it more.
I know, I'm just so mad. But that was like, what was that, MySpace time?
Yeah.
So it was like, it wasn't, if it was happening now, like it would be a totally different situation. Do you think the way U Street is now that we could, like, that could be created again, that vibe? Because like Jason Weems, he always speaks highly of Cafe Nemo and Tickle Me Tuesdays and how that was like a great room where, it was just like the finest blacks, everybody was professional, and just like this nice group of blacks that came together. Do you think that could be created like now?
I absolutely do think it. I think a lot of the times art and comedy is an art reflects the time. So more so than ever, laughter is often a healing tool. And here in Washington D.C., we need healing and a clean form of escapism. But I do think it will work now, even with the demographics of U Street and Washington D.C. looking different. I do think it will work now with a good space, and we will document it this time.
Yes.
And not only, I'm thinking not only just in D.C. I've noticed that even, not the humble brag, but even the Dave Chappelle's, talking to those guys, like you look at Netflix and all these comedy specials, Netflix is passing out their cash.
Right.
But they are passing out their cash for comedy specials because people, it has a resurgence, and now you're seeing the greats coming back doing those big Netflix, but they also doing the small clubs. So when you get Jerry Seinfeld out the bed, Dave, Chris Rock, these heavyweights And even the new guys, Lil Rel, Deion Cole, you know, it's definitely a good time, not only in DC, but in the country to do comedy. So what you trying to say, homie?
Shout out to Lil Rel and Deion
This is
Cole.
when you X me out. This
So do you?
is
Would you
that
ever
Mark Zuckerberg moment that cut me out the deal of Facebook.
Look, like, oh, it is.
Right. I would do a tell-all pamphlet.
Right, behind
I
the
don't have enough for a book.
When the tickling stops.
No friends.
That is so funny. So guys, just to give you some background, Take Me Tuesdays happened in Cafe Nemo, which was like a brownstone-ish type of venue that had like a restaurant at the bottom, and then they had this open space. So it was like intimate in the sense that it was like a small bar. We had a little stage. Comics would just flood in. The room would be packed. Like it was just a great, great, great environment. And I know that when we did it, you dabbled in comedy. You played with the idea of it. Is that something that you would consider doing, or have you done it?
I've never done it. I've written and continue to write, and it comes probably like you from, you know, just being black and things are just funny.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just from everyday travels, and definitely mine. You know, I had a very funny family, and I was talking to someone how we would laugh at some really fucked up shit.
Right.
You know, just recently, a friend of mine called me, and he was, you know, this is very serious. He needs a liver, and he just said it real casually, and he's coming to DC, you visit him. He said, but so I'm asking him, like, yeah, I got this guy in my church that offered to get on the list. No, his church. The church is.
Your church? Oh, okay, my bad.
And he said the guy at his church had offered to give him his liver. Then he's like, yeah, but I can't get in touch with him. You know? He's like, yeah, my call. I'm like, yeah, dog, that's like a tough one, man.
Yeah, like, can I take
What's up with that
that
liver?
back?
Yeah. How do you text her? What's up with that liver you promised me?
Yeah, like you drink it, don't drink with my liver, nigga.
Right. Playing and you playing.
Right. That's my liver. Oh, that's nice though. His friend was giving off of that.
Yeah, but I think it was in the moment during church. You know what I mean? I was like,
God bless you.
I applauded him from his timing, because you get a lot depending on when you ask for it.
Right, especially if you feeling good all
like
the
11, you know, he probably it's like double dutch, you know. Before you jump in, you're like, nah.
Wait, you only need one liver.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I told her, I was like, so we laughed a little bit. Then I was like, look, man, God gave you 2 livers for a reason. You know, yes, people can get what I want.
Your liver, nigga.
I said I would, but I would have disclaimers all over that shit. Like,
Yeah, like, you don't
just
want
because
this
I
liver.
need one, I don't need that back. You know what I mean? I don't need to get that back.
I mean, like, you can have it. It's just a little damage. Like,
It's more like a
I don't
loan.
know.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a loan.
I don't know if I should have meet the qualifications.
Yeah.
They'd be like, this one is soaked in alcohol. I don't know.
Liver is sponsored by Grey Goose.
Right. Okay. So the 2 people that don't think you're funny are our 2 friends. My sister and Stephanie Whitmore White. What do you have to say to them? Do you have anything to say to your haters?
I mean, you're nothing without haters. I mean, if you don't have anybody hating on you, you're not doing anything right. So,
Right.
Your sister, whom I know in a very long time, actually has me questioning you because it's DNA related. So I don't know what that kind of. I think she's heavily influenced by Stephanie, who I've known since preschool.
Oh, shout out to Nick and Steph. Shout out to Nick and Steph.
Yeah.
That sounds like a rapper. Nick and Steph.
Yeah, or crackhead friends.
Or haters. Or haters. Okay, so speaking of raps, Pusha T albums came out. So how do you what's the name of it? Daytona.
Yeah.
Daytona dropped a couple days ago. Yeezy back in the production.
I mean, at first listen and second and third listen, I usually don't like things the first time. I like to digest it. So, around that third time. Pusha's always been a very good wordsmith, and to be able to talk about what he talks about and make it poetic in the way that Biggie did. Like Biggie would talk about some bad fucked up shit, but it sounded sonically it went good going in. You're like, oh, milk box material. Somebody's being kidnapped. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
You know?
I will say that, like, I necessarily wasn't like a big Pusha T fan besides, you know, Grinding. Everybody loved that song. But I will say that it did take me a few times to be like, oh, he's talking about this. Like, you really have to, like, think about
clever, very
what he's saying.
Student of the game, too.
Yeah.
He and his brother. I don't even know where his brother is, but they
I like over good music now.
Yes.
The Presidents or something.
Yes.
So do you feel like a job like that takes you away from the game? Like, you can't really rap as good as you would if you were, like, still just an artist? Can you?
No, I think most when you somebody like that who loves you just love hip hop and MCing, that's a big word to remember. Some people just do it for the check of it, but these people love hip hop, and real rappers, like, they rap all the time. Like when you're around, like, just going throughout their day, they see stuff and they're always doing it. That's why a very accomplished rapper told me that they were saying Black Thought is the best right now, just because he's super skilled. But you gotta realize he practices every day.
Oh wow! Still
on the show, on the show, they do things on the Jimmy Fallon show to get ready, and he does things before the guests. So he's sharpening his sword every day.
I love it.
So you ain't just gonna run up on him. That's why when he did that freestyle, that thing on Flex, and people went crazy. I was one of those people, but I wasn't that surprised.
Yeah.
And that's another album I'm looking for. His album comes out the 1st with Ninth Wonder.
Oh, nice. Yes. Okay, good. I was just telling somebody my top 5, and Black Thought is definitely in there.
I mean, I don't even play that game no more.
You know, it's too many, or
it's like a top 24.
Right.
I don't do that game because it changes between
every album.
And not only that, where you are in your life. Like sometimes that this 5 was good during this period, then that 5, and then you have favorites and
then they try to
play that game.
They try to get you with the all time. So then you like, like Sugar Hill Gang. Like we supposed to go back.
Nah, I don't even play that game. It's like a top 24.
Right. Wait, is the Sugar Hill Gang in your top 24?
No.
No. Sean?
No.
No throwback?
However, though, Little Nugget, that was the first album or record that I begged my mother to buy. I cried for that record. She tells the story better than me, but I wanted that song. I had a little record player I got for something, birthday or something, and I was like, Mom, I want to get that. I cried for that record.
And you got it?
Yes.
Was it everything you needed?
Oh man, I played it to death. So I have a little soft spot for Sugar Hill Gang. I will say that.
Okay.
They're important to the culture, but
they may be 25. No, I tried Sugar Hill Gang. 25. I tried to get y'all. Okay, so so we got the Pusha T. He made a dig at Drizzy. Drizzy came back, but then Drizzy pulled Kanye into it. So now everybody's in a state of craziness because Drake dropped the mic on them. Do you think it's worthy of a snapback?
I think it's beautiful, and I say it because in hip hop, beefs have always, and rap battles on the mic have always been a part of the sport. So this, I don't think most new artists understand it. It's not physical. It's really how good is your pen, and especially when you the top dude and you in the ring, you got to be ready for this.
Yeah.
I remember Karis once said in the interview that he had rhymes every year. He would look at the top 10 or projected top 10 MCs, and he would have something ready for all 10. Just in case this stuff happens.
Oh wow! So
I think from a sport, whether it's Karis won, to bring him up, the bridge is over. The Roxanne Shante thing. Ice Cube and Common, or Drake and Meek Mill. That's always been good. Tupac and Biggie. Because Hit 'Em Up was one of the. It might not have been lyrically the best, but it was so much. It was so impactful.
Yeah,
I think he was just talking too.
It was like gagged.
Yeah, I was somewhere, and it just, when they heard the song, they thought it was Get Money. And then people, because the DJ played it like 3 times in a row, so I was like, yeah, man, so, wait a minute. Then he's like, first of all, what's your wife? I was like, whoa.
With the typical Tupac.
Yeah, it was very, so much venom in this passion. So, you know, long as it's on wax or whatever, or MP3 or whatever, I think it's so good for kids to see a healthy, you know, back and forth. But this is a part of hip hop.
It is. I appreciate you saying that. But then, you know, we go back to like Pusha T. He's supposed to be like in the streets. So, is it safe for Drake, or is Pusha T gonna be pissed and be like?
Nah. I think Pusha was, you know, pun intended, pushed Drake into responding. And Drake had something in the chamber ready to go. It was like a note.
Yeah,
it was almost like Drake shit came out before the album. I was like, wait, yo.
Drake was like, oh, you talking shit?
Yeah, I was ready. So the interesting thing though is Drake is now, he's actually being considered as a battle rapper because of, he's getting respect as a battle rapper because of back-to-back and now being able to handle this, you know.
And handle it like with finesse.
Yeah, he handled this though.
I like how he introed that little rap because he was just like, really, y'all want me to do this?
Now, staying true to hip hop, I do think you need to write your rhymes. Like that is so sacrilegious.
Yeah,
kids out there listening.
Right.
If you ain't right. It's like, you know, and especially if you being anointed, like if you saying you all this and you not portraying what you're saying, then that's a little, that has a reason to be shunned upon. I don't ever want to get to normalize that.
Right. And it is very much like, oh, like you just feel a little bit of,
you know, what if Jesus been like, you know, well, after Matthew did the 3 little fishes thing, I wasn't really there, but you know, I showed up late. Yeah. You know, the 5 loaves of bread, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You'd be like, oh, you ain't do that.
Right, you just feel a little less respect.
Yeah, man, it's not.
But have Drake tell he was looking out for Quentin. Like, you know, Quentin was working at Kroger.
That's a good spin. I mean, everybody was doing something else before they was doing what they doing.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
Like Cardi B, I heard that she doesn't write her raps. But then somebody was like, the basic ass raps. If she ain't writing them, then who the hell is?
I mean, I don't have anything to say. No, I mean, but Cardi B was doing something else. And now I kind of believe Cardi B. I think she's one of the most authentic people in the music industry. Yeah,
like
I believe her.
100.
Like, I believe her. It's from the heart.
Yeah, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of all this music, so I was reading an article about how, like, I always think about how music and like you have your mumble rap that talks about like everything under the sun, abusive to women, you know, derogatory comments, just all that stuff. And then I think about like, you know, your Kendrick Lamar's and J. Cole's, and they're like trying to push the culture in a positive way. Do you think, it seems to me that the mumble rap has more of an influence than say your J. Cole's or your Kendrick's. So how do you feel about that? Because you're a father, you have kids that have grown up in this like environment. Mm-hmm. Like as a teacher, when I was teaching, I remember the exact moment when little girls turned ratchet. It was a 4th grade class. They were in 4th grade at the time, and it was right when Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne dropped. Mm-hmm. And all these little girls were like, you know, like they just, they all became Nicki Minaj, and that was like their idol. So then as they grew older, they were just like more disrespectful, more popping off. So I just wonder if like the influence is more than we give it credit for. So how do you feel about that?
I think that, and for not trying to sound like the generation before, and the generation before that,
right.
Because if you think about our parents who was coming from, you know, LTD, Barry White, you know, Earth, Wind and Fire, for them to hear a hip hop, a hippie to the hip, that shit was garbage. Like that shit burned their ears. You know what I mean?
Right.
That shit, and I get it. It's like so, and you gotta let, you know, kids have whatever the new generations do have their time. Mm-hmm. Now, you need balance, so that's why you know, when things are out of balance, that's when things are messed up. But that's why you need Kendrick and the J. Coles and you know, the Rhapsodies and these other people out here that's really doing it. I mean, not really doing it, doing a different style than whatever the mumble rap kids are doing. But I never believe that art doesn't imitate life. I mean, art imitates life, you know what I mean? It's never the other way around.
Right.
So there are abusive stuff. There are hoes, you know, like Eazy-E said, all bitches ain't women.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
DJ Quick, that music was fucked up. Like sweet black pussy and
oh yeah, we can never say, like, you know, somebody was talking about Soulja Boy, the dances they got now. I was like, the Humpty Dance wasn't talking about shit.
Right.
And Tupac was in Digital Underground. I was like, so before you start casting all these stones, let's just take a step back, you know what I mean? And
so what was the difference? Like, why were we not as influenced by that as like nowadays?
I think that some of that is just teenage rebellion. Like some of the kids are like Kanye's last tour, Pablo. I had to go. I mean, he had that mosh pit, and it was amazing to see that it was so many kids, like 15, 13. It was kids that couldn't even get in. I was outside, and I was like, he is the only artist whose fan base is getting younger. Kanye's ass is old in music terms.
Yeah.
So why is his fan base getting younger? And that's that rebelliousness and that the kids gravitate toward. You know, the same reason why, you know, they hate Kanye, the same reason why you love him, because he gives it to you good, bad, and indifferent.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You just like, this is me, y'all.
So it was just kids, you know, the only time that happened was, you know, I would think, and I can remember, it was Michael Jackson, and that was in death, where kids was like discovering him, and they still discovering him.
Right.
But I think they influenced by that. Now there are way more visuals, there's way more media to see that. But I think they catch them at a certain point in their life. Now they're gonna look back, you know, as you grow, you know, you're gonna look back and say, damn, why did I get this tattoo on my face? You know,
in that little area back there.
You
What's it
gotta let
called?
them have it. What's it called? That was cute.
What's it called? Because I got one.
See right there, that little area back there, right? So.
Don't have one. Okay.
So I think you need to let them. You need balance, though. I remember a beautiful day in hip hop was. I'm definitely gonna date myself, but I know I bought Snoop, a Tribe album, and Outkast on the same day.
Oh shit!
It was like I was like, you know, it was just good. It was a good day.
That's a good day.
But it was so much. It was all different, and I loved it all. But now I think the balance is a little off. You know, and it's so saturated, so now you gotta sift through the bullshit and do so much digging to get to some gold.
Yeah. Trap is taking over.
Yeah. But I do think.
You like trap?
I like some of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's sustainable.
You're not Millie rocking to the car?
It's not sustainable. I don't think it's going, you know, 20 years from now, they're going to be.
We're not going to be trap heads?
Right. It's going to be something else.
It's going to be something else.
You know?
What's it going to be? Sean and his ukulele? Okay, look, there's one more thing I want to do with you. Thanks for answering these questions. You, like myself, are from Chicago. Chi-Town, South Side.
Yes.
Representing how we supposed to. So I'm going to test your...
Oh man, this is tough.
How Chicago you are. Okay?
Am I gonna lose some stripes?
I don't know. You tell me.
Man.
To be determined. Okay, number one. Which one is not a term for Chicago? The foggy city, the second city, or the windy city?
The foggy city.
The foggy city. Okay, we'll find
I'm
out.
done.
No, you got one. If you call dibs on something, what are you doing? You've nailed a new dance move, you put hot nacho cheese on your deep dish pizza, or you reserved your spot or placement.
It's a reservation.
It's a reservation. Dibs. Okay. Pop. What is pop? Is that a dance move? Or is it a catch-all phrase for carbonated drinks? Or is it your dad?
Catch-all phrase for carbonated drinks.
Bingo! Sean, you taking the test over there too? Okay, tips and links. Is that a way to service your waitress? A type of barbecue? Or a salad most people avoid?
Barbecue.
Type of barbecue. All right. The Metro. Okay. Is that a route that gets you home quickly, a tourist who wants to explore the city, or a pricey bus and train fare payment system?
What's the answers again?
A route that gets you home quickly, a tourist who wants to explore the city, or a pricey bus and train fare payment system?
C?
Yeah, we gon' see. We gon' see.
Is it C? Is it?
We gon' see.
It's not B.
It's not B or A. So
Okay, all right.
I will go with
Okay,
you on C.
all right.
Sean, you be with us on C? Okay. Chicago Mix. The best radio station in Chi-Town. Caramel and cheddar cheese popcorn, or a reference to the spring season being cold?
B. Caramel and
Boom.
cheese.
So good. From Garrett's. Okay. Did you know there was a Garrett's here?
It's one. Oh yeah, I was thinking. I just saw. There's a Harold's opening in Beverly Hills.
In LA?
Beverly Hills. Yes. Yes.
In LA, you know, I
Yes.
gotta be black with it. Like,
Yes.
tell me where though. Okay. What's LSD in Chicago speak? A type of drug? A road along the lake, or a restaurant that serves the best hot dogs?
It's Lakeshore Drive, a road along the lake.
Road along the lake. Sean didn't know that one. Gardeniera. Is that a garden in central Chicago where most people have their weddings? A pickled blend of peppers, celery, carrots, and more, or your neighborhood Italian grandmother?
B.
It is. It is that. The Viagra Triangle.
I might not know this.
Okay, is it a bathroom? A neighborhood known for its clubs and rich older men, or the hospital? I took a guess on that.
What's the answer? What's the two? Give me the answer.
The Viagra Triangle. Is it a bathroom, a neighborhood known for its clubs and rich older men, or the hospital?
B.
B. Okay, we're gonna go with B. Okay. Wet or dry? Is this a question that you always get about the weather? A question the L train monitor always asks? Or a question about how you'd like your Italian beef?
Oh, C.
What do you wear? Tennis shoes, gym shoes, or track shoes?
Gym shoes.
Gym shoes. Sean, you got on gym shoes? Okay, this one's tricky. If you want $10, you might ask for 100 dimes, jam, or Sawbucks.
What's the answers again?
If you want $10, you might ask for 100 dimes, jam, or Sawbucks.
Oh, I don't know this one, man.
I've heard one of them, so I chose that.
100 dimes.
I think the answer is Starbucks. I think the answer is you are 100% a true Chicago.
Yes.
Congratulations. Chicago, you held it down. You held it down.
Man.
So it's not Starbucks.
So you got it wrong.
What'd you say it was? Not jam.
100 dimes.
100.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to use that
Yeah,
now.
100 dimes.
So we get 100 dimes. Is that
I just
even?
don't want nobody to get it to me though.
Alright.
Genius.
Alright, Sean, well, you know what? You're 100% Chicago. I'm glad you came to the show.
I'm glad to be here.
You know, I appreciate it. We're gonna get a Hall of Fame. I keep talking about this Hall of Fame, but we're gonna have a Cafe Nima Tickle Me Tuesday Hall of Fame.
It sounds like we're gonna do it again. Oh, you gonna ask me out?
No, I'm calling you in so we can get all the big names. We're gonna do Put Puppy Podcast live. We should definitely talk about this.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Thank you, Blue Microphones. Thank you, Sean, over there. This is Super Puppy Podcast, and we are out.
Chicago Slim coming with the win. Super Puppy Podcast, Super Puppy Podcast, the best podcast, Super Puppy Podcast, the best. This is Super Podcast, Puppy Podcast, the best podcast. Better than the rest. Super Puppy Podcast. Bust your shots in your ass. Super Puppy Podcast. Don't sleep.